Well, just when we thought that things were all nice and quiet, we get a sudden news story about ShellShock. It's the worst thing ever. End of the world. Really? So here we are, news stories on the BBC. So ShellShock, deadly serious new vulnerability found, potentially affecting hundreds of millions of computers. So they are saying bash, which stands for the born again shell, got something right for a change on the BBC, is a command prompt on many Unix computers, but it's also Linux, Mac, and BSD. Affect quite a few different systems here. So the vulnerability has been around for over 20 years, which is quite embarrassing. However, before the anti-open source people, proprietary lovers maybe, go on about it, let's just point out that there were some very old vulnerabilities in Windows, not forgetting one in 2010 where they patched a 17-year-old vulnerability in the kernel. The world of computing 20 years ago was very different to what it is now, and things tend to get left behind, blurred in the background and ignored like this, until it's discovered and people start worrying about it. So where was the part about on a scale of 1 to 10? Here it is. So rates on a scale of 10. But if you ever look at the Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures database, you'll find that quite often bugs do get rated as 10 out of 10. So that's about as common as mud. It's nothing new, so don't get excited about it. A bit more news about it today, that there are many attacks and scans happening on the web already. There's a surprise. So yes, lots of news there. So as a home user running Linux, which is what my channel is catering for, should you be concerned about it? So on a scale of running around like a headless chicken or sitting back and having a beer, I will take the sitting back and having a beer option. Actually, maybe have another beer as well while you're at it. There's no rush about this at all. What we're looking at is an attack vector. How can your system be attacked? Well, the common attacks at the moment are against CGI to Apache web servers, DHCP, and SSH. Are you running any of those on your home system? If you are, then be concerned about it. Most likely though, you're not. And most likely, your router is blocking ports by default, and Ubuntu, which I'm running here, as well as many other Linux distros, blocks ports on the firewall. So even if we're not actually running a firewall, the port is not open to be attacked. The application is not there to be attacked, so there is no attack vector. The DHCP part could be of a concern, but your router's not going to be open to DHCP to the outside world. Internally though, well, if you don't trust anyone else in your network, it could be difficult there. So what you could do is turn DHCP off, on your computers, just go for a static IP address. What's the concern there? That's pretty much what I do on my home system here, because I need to know where computers are on the network. I need to know what their IP address is, so it kind of makes it easy for me. SSH, unless you've got that open to the outside world, and probably not much of a concern. Although, if you've got weak passwords, I can see that someone could get into SSH, and you could just do it through user level access. You don't need to be a root user, but you could use the vulnerability on a vulnerable bash and gain root privileges. You could inject some sort of shell code, and yeah, that could work. I could see that being quite a feasible attack. But again, to be concerned as a home user, no, not really. The main attack is going to be against websites. Now, if programmers have done their job well on the websites and application development, there's not a problem. But of course, history will teach us they don't know what they're doing. Hey, even if I look on my own website and use test, so question mark, let's just type this right, question mark I equals, and this is one of the tests you can use. If I put that in there, just chucks me away, doesn't want to know about it. Because I've built the website well, it can't be tricked that easily. Even if I change the folder number where that picture is, it still loads up the picture, because I've built my website well and distrusted user input. And that really is the key thing here. Do not trust user input, and then you don't leave your website open to things like SQL injection attacks, cross-site scripting, and ShellShock. So this is one of the tests to use. I just looked at this up on Lifehacker, just did a quick search on Google, come across this. So, can copy that. So if you're not vulnerable, you'll get this result. Bash warning, ignoring function definition attempt, error, blah, blah, blah. If you're vulnerable, you get vulnerable, hello. Quite an easy test there. So is Ubuntu 14.04 vulnerable to it? Yes. I can see that here because I'm running Kubuntu 14.04. Oops, that's the wrong paste thing. Thank you very much. Let's just do a Control U, clears the screen, or clears the line. Control L will clear the screen. Okay. A couple of little handy hints there. Anyway, Control Shift and V, vulnerable, hello, thanks, hello. Raspberry Pi, is that vulnerable? So this is Raspberry Pi running Raspbian. Yes, that's vulnerable. Was my NAS running Ubuntu 12.04, which I've just patched? Is that vulnerable? Not anymore. Just do the updates and you get rid of the vulnerability. But most likely, a home user will not have an attack vector in the first place that can be exploited. So there you go. The update manager in Ubuntu 14.04 shows Bash is available there as an application update. And for Raspbian, yes, it is there as an application update. So no problems. Just take your time, have a beer, then do your system updates. Job done. So thanks for watching. I'll see you all later.